So,
So before we get started, I know we got topics and all that, but I did want to ask you, what do you think about Floyd Mayweather fighting Logan Paul, Jake Paul's brother?
I think that Logan Paul is maybe getting ahead of himself a little bit.
But they said that Jake Paul is supposedly fighting McGregor. So what if that's on the same card? That will be crazy.
It's gonna cost so much too.
Yeah, if they could pull both of those off.
And they both gonna get beat up. But I mean, I watch it though.
Yeah, shout out them trying to make sure we have some type of entertainment during this pandemic.
Yeah, because there was another boxing match this past Saturday, right?
Yeah, Danny Garcia versus oh my goodness, why am I drawing the blank right now?
Errol Spence Jr.
Earl Spence Jr. Yeah, Earl Spence, he definitely won a two, so I didn't think he would lose. I know Kenya was reserved because he just got out of a car accident, but he bounced back so fast off of that. As far as health wise, I really didn't have a doubt in my mind that he would win. Now, shout out to Danny Garcia though, because he definitely fought good. He could have fought better if he'd have let his hands go more, but that might have got him knocked out too. So,
Yeah. I didn't watch, but I did know. I at least knew that Earl Spence Jr. won. I knew that much, but I didn't watch because I was just kind of like tired that day.
It might not have been one of the fights that you would watch anyway. It's like it was more of a technical fight. It wasn't like more like just bruise, like hit, like people just pounding each other out. It was more technical.
Like how Floyd Mayweather fights.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, when it comes to sporting events, whether it's I feel like I might be a little more engaged in boxing, despite what I said about the Tyson fight. Might be a little bit more engaged in boxing than other sports, but ultimately, when I go to people's house and watch sports, it's more like a social event to me. Sit around, kick it, laugh, whatever.
Yeah. So that fight was good, but it wasn't. It wasn't what Spence needed. Spence needs to fight Terrence Crawford. They're the two best in the division, but I'm afraid that since they got different promoters, it's going to be how Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather was. They're going to wait until they get old, and then once they need the money, then fight each other instead of doing it while both of them's in their prime.
But Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, neither one of them needed the money.
They didn't need it, but at that point, it was like, who else are you going to fight Mayweather?
Yeah. I can't believe that Mayweather actually is agreeing to this Jake Paul thing. Like,
that's how you know they looked at the numbers with that Jake. You mean Logan Paul?
What one of them? Whatever.
They looked at the numbers of what Jake Paul and them did, and they probably guaranteed. I think they said they guaranteed Floyd $20 million. I'm not sure of the numbers.
Wait, Jake Paul is the actual boxer, right?
No, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul is the YouTuber.
They're both YouTubers.
They
brothers.
Just made a beeline. Both of them made a beeline for boxing.
Like, yeah, it was their entertainment. Because what I want to say, Logan Paul started it first. What he wanted to do was start something like as far as boxing on the that he could draw his fans on.
Okay.
And it worked. And he won a couple fights. Now, I guess Jake Paul was like, I'm going to follow in his footsteps. But I think Jake Paul's the one that always gets into trouble. Like, Logan Paul.
One of them always be saying some crazy stuff that make the headlines or whatever.
Yeah, that's Jake Paul. That's the one who was fighting. Because remember, he was even saying in this interview, like, he always gets in trouble. And he does. That's why he's so thankful about boxing, that he's good at boxing, because he always gets into street fights and all of this.
Mhm.
But I think Logan Paul's the one that's more reserved because he's the one that popped off on YouTube first, to where he got that big empire. To where I think he even got a nice little podcast. You
Because
know,
wasn't one of them the one who went through like some sort of death forest in China or Japan or whatever? Like where that it was somewhere where people go to like commit suicide or something.
I know about that
What
forest, but I didn't know that one of them did that. That's
I thought it
interesting.
was one of them who got in trouble for it. I thought,
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's interesting. I might have to
they
look at that.
they were talking about how it was inappropriate for them to be like doing the YouTube video or whatever in there. I want to say it's the don't quote me, but I think it was one of them, and that's where I first heard of them from.
Yeah, because I think if anything, that might have been low. I'm checking actually. That's why I keep looking over to the side. I'm actually trying to check for us. But that's crazy. I never knew that. I never did that at all. Because I was more like just knew that he was real popular on YouTube.
Let me find out you trying to be a fact checker, low key. I'm a
Well, I had my YouTube already on because I was watching something since I was at work. I missed it, and I was watching something before
matter
you
of
said.
fact. Isn't that forest is in Japan, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's crazy. I almost forgot all about that force until you said something.
Yeah, people were not feeling that.
But you're right. It was Logan Paul.
Okay.
Um,
I
but the
knew I knew
Steelers,
I knew he was the problem child.
is that the problem child with that?
Yeah, because I swear, isn't Mayweather fighting Jake Paul?
No, Jake is the one that just fought, right?
Yeah, Jake just fought.
But Jake, no, dang, Floyd Mayweather's fighting Logan Paul.
Are you sure?
Yep, Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. I'm looking at it right here.
I can't even believe he agreed to that fight. Like this is maybe because I didn't. Maybe because that is my initial introduction to one of the Paul brothers. I just feel like I can't take them seriously, but I'll watch it though. I think it's going to be entertaining. How much do you think the fight's going to go for?
Um, Probably $70.
70.
Well, it depends. If you could
I
get
think it's
Jake
going to
Paul,
be. I think it's going to cost more than that.
if you could get Jake Paul and McGregor on that card too, that's over. I'm thinking that's over 100.
Yeah, because I'm like, uh, I know Logan Paul got stupid followers, so they're gonna want to see that. I don't know about Jake, but
Look, they probably told Floyd, man, we could get you your 20 million straight off just the people viewing it.
right, because Floyd just out here living life. All right, I'll make this 20 real quick. Boom.
Sheesh.
It's crazy, right?
It's the pandemic though. What else are you gonna do but watch it?
Yeah, that too. Because you would have never told me, speaking of things to do in the pandemic, you would have never told me that everybody would be gathered around their computers and their phones to watch two artists battle it out like
I'm
on a
like, man, I ain't
Wednesday
got
night
time for that.
or Swizzy and Timbo started something big.
Or two old boxers. 'Cause I ain't gonna lie.
I still would have watched them.
I might have watched the replay. I don't think I would have. I was real like that event had me like tuned in. Like there's no way I can't see me doing that on this on the what was that Saturday
Yes, it
for
was Saturday.
for exhibition.
Yeah.
Because
Too
even
many.
like
I
I
think the
hate
thing that probably turned me off was the so many rules. Like
and their gloves is bigger.
it was.
So, but hey, to each his own. I'm glad nobody got hurt, and it was a good fight.
It's not only on that beat.